gari sari dari re sari da pada sari da pa ma ga pada sari re ga gari sari dari re sari da pada sari da pa ma ga pada re sa da ga gari sari dari re sari da pada sari da pa ma ga re ga pada pa ma ga re ga pada sari da pada sari re ga sari da sa ni da pa ma ga re ga pa.
In this edition of Andal's Diary, I want to share with you some surprising and little known facts about this teenage Goda who became a goddess. I will begin with a fact outside India. That's right. Andal's fame traveled along with the Tamil priests and poets as the kings explored the seas beyond India. And even today, in the royal courts of Thailand, whenever there is a coronation, guess what is chanted? You're right, the Tirupave. Tirupave, along with Manika Vachakar's Shaiva hymns, the Tiruvembave, are both a sound accompaniment to when a king is crowned. It happened very recently. And the Thai kings are also believed to be an incarnation of Rama because they carry the name Rama within their title. Until 1935 in Thailand, there was a giant swing ceremony during the springtime. And during this public display of joy, the Tirupave was chanted. Now, this ceremony was stopped after 1935 because the crowds grew so large and it became a security issue. Do you know that Andal was a daring cross-dresser before it's become fashionable today with gender and sexuality? Yes, she fearlessly dressed in so many avatars of Vishnu and Krishna. And each time, the way the fabric is draped, you can just tell that she carries herself like an imperious queen, a queen of her town of Srivilliputturu. It is still believed, and it's a popular belief, that the symbol for the government of Tamil Nadu is the temple Gopuram of Andal's village, of Andal's temple, the Srivilliputturu Gopuram. Because they felt that that Gopuram was stark and did not carry the profusion of idols and images. Well, recently it has been discussed that the son of the artist who drew the Gopuram for the government of Tamil Nadu symbol actually had the West Gopuram of the Madurai Meenakshi temple in mind. But the popular belief is that it is Andal's Srivilliputturu Gopuram that still is the official seal of the Tamil Nadu government. Did you also know that throughout her Tirupave and the Natya Tirumuri, Andal never discusses color or caste of her Sakhis. In fact, when she's waking the Sakhis up, she never says fair or dark. No, she never refers to caste. She only discusses color when she speaks of Krishna as the dark one, or nature or the clouds. And she thought everybody was inclusive within the community of Gopikas because she herself was the premier Gopika. Recently, there were several questions and ripplings of controversy around Andal. And when it erupted, those who thought that she only was appropriated by the upper caste of communities in South India were surprised, because across society, everybody stood up in protest and declared Andal as their sister, their daughter, their mother. And it just showed how deeply she has penetrated the consciousness of so many people across generations. Today we have Andal coloring books for girls. And we have so many wonderful translations. Translations that many dancers and today's readers have drawn from. I can mention Vidya Dahejia's Slaves of the Lord, Archana Venkateshan's The Secret Garland, Priya Saruke Chabria's Andal, The Autobiography of a Goddess, among several. But in our time, when I was growing up, we had no access to any of these books. We had to go for word to word translations. And sometimes the commentaries and the explanations were so dense, it actually intimidated us. So for you, the modern generation, you have something given to you on a platter, make use of it. Did you also know that 9 of my mentees, 4 from the Padme project in 2015 and 5 from the Natyar Next project of 2019 have met, not each other, but have met in Andal's garden. A very proud moment for me as their mentor. Andal's voice is growing, louder and louder. There are books, there are translations. In her hometown of Srivilliputtur, she's a brand. Every shop, every retail establishment, and many young baby girls carry the name Andal. My grandniece, my sister's granddaughter, has Andal as her middle name. But remember that this teenage girl, a voice that echoed and sang and dreamt over 1200 years ago, was an early forerunner for the cascade of female mystic saints that were to follow her. Voices that were raised in protest against patriarchy, women who chose to subvert the expected narrative of marriage, a husband, motherhood, domesticity, and the drudgery of household chores. In a way, Andal and her sisters were feminist icons early in their time when patriarchy was so strong. I urge you all to continue to stay in Andal's garden, enjoy her poetry, and discover the many layers of Goda, the teenage girl who became a goddess.
Gapada sari sari gapada gari sari da sari da pa ma da pa ma gari sari ga pa ma gari gapada sari da pada gari sari da sari da pa ma gari gapada gari sari da sari da pa ma gari gapada gari sari da sari da pa ma gapada gari sa